Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling. Oh, I just punched my microphone. And shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today, where we're relaxing as per usual. We're recording now because we'll be having D&D later. Do I expect it to be a crazy session? Not really. I think it's going to be interesting because I feel like, you know, we're kind of we did the first. Okay, so they're currently exploring a kingdom extension and going deeper and deeper into it. We'll get into that in a second. Hello everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow at 6:11 PM on Wednesday, February 11th, 2026. With a visitor staying at the campsite. Nice. It was celebrating Festival. That's always a very fun one. But basically exploring a kingdom. And the kingdom sort of split up into like sort of 5 regions, but I'm obviously, because they're going on like a pilgrimage through the region, I'm not gonna basically play by play do every single like hour by hour exactly what happens. That sounds exhausting. It doesn't even sound very fun, to be honest. So we're sort of like in a, I guess it's kind of like downtime, except for it's not actually downtime, it's more like uptime. But we're actively doing stuff, but we're basically sort of like fast forwarding elements, parts where they're just walking, really, because otherwise it's not particularly interesting. We're still doing jump cuts because it's like, you know, they're level 10, there's a certain level of exploration and survival skills which they are expected to have. So we did the first one like as per standard, and then the second region is sort of like we're transitioning now into this new sort of system. You are Hopper, right? Iconic in the Animal Crossing movie. But I think the second one is less so. It's not meant to be particularly difficult to survive. Like they, as I said, there's like an energy system basically which they have. It's going to be pretty difficult to drain the entire energy system in the second kingdom, in my opinion. But it's possible. It's very possible. And I think what it's going to do, at least what my intention is with the second kingdom, is to sort of set the scene of things which are happening. Because like, I don't know when necessarily it's been done, but like I said at some point, but both campaigns have kind of like what I imagined to be the end of Act 2 and be the start of Act 3 is not something which ended up happening. But they're almost certainly both in Act 3 at some point. I don't know at which point, like, you would decide for them to be at Act 3, but they're almost certainly there by this point. What I'm basically trying to do is sort of lead them up to kind of the end of Act 3 and when Act 4 kind of starts. Act 4 kind of being like starting to get into the late game. You know, the other campaign, like I can already see the path forward of exactly what's going to happen. Like what I thought was going to be an Act 2 closure is now probably going to be an Act 3 closure instead, because they've done a lot of stuff instead in the meanwhile, and they've gotten some very big plot points uncovered. This campaign, I do expect them also to have some pretty big plot points uncovered, but you only get there if we, you know, I don't want to spend forever on this intervenous part. Because this was, I said it before, a bit of this part of the act, I expected it to come in later, so then it made more sense to do it this way. But I was like, you know what, even though I planned it later to be like this, doesn't mean we still can't use a similar system for us now. Because there'll be some interesting things that I'm sure they'll find out, but I want to sort of like set the scene and basically the second, you know, we know where things are still pretty safe, things are still pretty okay, but sort of set the scene of like what is going on, what are the struggles, shall we say, that I think people aren't necessarily going through. So that's things are sort of structured in a way where we've got basically a load of mini events, which are sort of like micro one-off things for them to deal with, and then like a main event they have to deal with. There's actually possibly 2 main events here that they can deal with depending on how things go. Like this main event, one of the main events I can push forward essentially, but I think it makes probably more sense to do later. I don't really know. But the other thing I was meant to do is I was also meant to, I'm not sure if it would be this. I don't think it will be, at least, this, one or not, but, you know, not everyone yet. A lot of people have gotten their 3rd character feat, to be honest, but not all of them have quite as of this moment. Let me think. Okay, you have it, you you're meant to get it at some point, so we'll be kind of soonish. You have it, technically. you do, yes, you do have it. Although this hasn't happened yet technically. I'm trying to think, you've not had yours yet. So that will have to happen. You've not had yours yet either. You've not had yours yet. And you will get yours almost certainly very soon. It's weird to think about. Because, hold on, have I done it wrong? Because 2 of them are basically on, like, they're each meant to get like sort of upgrades, feats or weapons or something at corresponding like one each act, one like very customized specific one for them, which is meant to make them super strong. So I probably do need to start giving, but the problem is it's getting harder and harder to find like actual moments to do it. This pilgrimage makes it extremely difficult because the only way I can do it is through dream sequences, which don't really make a lot of sense. Or don't always make a lot of sense. But certainly I know that you're probably not going to get yours for a little bit. Which is fine. Yeah, I think you might be last this rotation. My characters obviously can't, I can't give a spoiler of who it is. This one will probably be last, this one will probably be next. So this one will probably be next, that one's already got one, that one can get at some point. Okay. I just need to think about it. You've already got yours. You've already got yours. So yours is probably next. Yours is probably next, then yours, something like that. Okay. It makes it tough. Genuinely makes it tough, but there's a lot of fun, I think, in creating these very sort of specific magical feats or items. Even if my players don't use it all the time, which is totally fair. Like, I mean, there's so many things going on, I don't expect them to, like, use them all the time. But it is what makes it rather interesting, I think. To give out, it's sort of like, you know, signature weapons in gacha games, which I know is a bit of a silly thing instead. But yeah. I'm not sure what else to talk about though. That's it. I don't really have much more to say about D&D, so I guess we'll sort of, I don't know, we'll sort of vibe out. One of the things I want to talk about, I saw Mugenics was released. If you don't know what Mugenics is, it's basically Ed McMillan. That's his name, I think. The person who made Binding of Isaac, which is it's probably my favourite roguelite. Like, not from an aesthetic standpoint. I kind of strongly dislike it from an aesthetic standpoint, but I actually find it really fun to play. Has made like his next game. Well, it's 2 of them. The problem is I don't remember who the other one's name is. So it's on Steam. Let me see if I can find it. You know, I don't have to just guess who it is. Tyler Glaiel, who didn't actually work on Binding of Isaac, so fair enough. But he releases his new game, right? Yeah, it's called Mugenics, and it's basically, I'm not really super sure. Like, I've heard people basically describe it as roguelite XCOM cross, or XCOM cross Into the Breach or something like that. But there's also like, I watched the, what's it called? Ramblomatic about it, because I'm not 100%, fully Ramblomatic, that's what it's called. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to play it, but I'm like kind of curious about it. But it's basically, as I understand it, is you sort of like go on like these roguelike runs with a party of 4, like Darkest Dungeon style, but you do Into the Breach sort of gameplay, and then you have some sort of XCOM management afterwards to sort of, I don't know, try and like breed the cats together or something to make like stronger cats. That's as I understand it. But yeah, which I think is actually a very interesting concept. Like the fact that you just like get your units together to genetically pass on, I suppose, their own traits into other ones. Which, I mean, like Fire Emblem technically has that, doesn't it? Or something, but like, I don't think it has it on a like super multi-generational scale or something. Or maybe it does. I don't remember. So I must say, it's a very clever concept, I think. I will say, what do I think of that stuff? I think that stuff's quite, well, something, you know. It's obviously tapping into a very sort of like Flash era of animation styles. But apart from that, like I don't know, I can't always get down with the art style that's going on, you know, Binding of Isaac, Legend of Bumbo, things that's going on, you know. Things which are sort of like gross but in a flash animation way, so it's like cartoony gross, but I'm just sort of like, it's not really my jam, it's not really my jam, to be honest. I like things being sleek, cute, elegant, etc, etc. Not to say there isn't an element of cuteness, and not to say there isn't an element of sleek, or, like, basically, it's not as if anything's bad, you know? I think a lot of it's actually, like, pretty well done, just, you know, different tastes for different people, right? That do be just how it goes sometimes. Yeah. What else to talk about? I don't know. I think it's cool though, because it's a game which has been sort of in the works for ages, hasn't it? Been waiting a long time for this game to actually. Well, I'm not sure if it's this game, because I remember he was working on the game from way back, essentially. Which I thought was Mugenics, but I don't actually know. But I thought it was like a 2D roguelite, like 2D platforming shooter roguelite, but maybe that's a different game entirely? I generally don't know. I didn't know that it was going to be like an Into the Breach sort of roguelike sort of thing, but yeah, I don't know. I do respect it, like I have a lot of respect for Edmund and his game design. Like he clearly, like, I think it's like a great execution of like exactly what he wants, which is what you should be doing, and it resonates because the gameplay is like pretty good. One person, me, you know, not 100% vibing with the aesthetic is totally fair. Like it's not every single piece of art's out there made to appeal to every single person. That's not how art works. It's not how art should work, to be honest. But I'm curious enough that, you know, I like gameplay enough of Binding Isaac that maybe I'll give it a try. I don't know. I feel like there's so many games to try at the moment. I'm just sort of like forever drowning in choice, which is, you know, a nice problem to have if you ask me, but still. Anywho, what else? I don't know, because Into the Breach seems like a pretty cool game, to be honest. Like a very fascinating game, which I'm interested. Which I was interested in playing, but never got around to it. I think I even own it, like from some random platform somewhere. I don't remember which one, to be honest. Maybe like, no, it's not an Epic. I think I got it from like Humble Bundle or something at some point, so I have it like as a standalone download game, along with another game which I downloaded at some point. What was it, like a Baba Is You sequel, isn't it? Hold on, Baba Is You sequel game, which was like Baba is Into the Breach or something. Mobile Suit Baba, that's it. Which is released for free on itch.io, that's it. Maybe that's a game I thought that I actually had. Oh, $4? I thought it was free, maybe not. I don't know. Have I played it? No. Does it seem cool? Yeah, why not? Like, if I had a universe of a very successful game, the first one popped off, and you know for sure I'd just be branching out into loads of different other genres for fun of it. If I had any sort of franchise. I mean, I often talk about how fun it would be to make a fighting game, despite the fact I don't know enough about fighting games to properly make one. I just think the concept of fighting games are cool. Is that so wrong? Maybe. Anywho. What's on guitar? I don't know. Like, how long has Mugenics been? Mugenics, how long has it been in the works? Because I swear I heard about it ages ago. Oh, originally announced in 2012 as a follow-up to Super Meat Boy. It was in development hell. Oh. No wonder. Oh, it was announced by Team Meat. Why is Team Meat? That wasn't. Was that Edmund? Maybe it was Edmund. It was Edmund. Dang. The original design, hold on. It was turn-based arena combat. Oh. So I didn't even know what the game was properly in the first place. I am glad though that it ended up being a game which, even though it went through development, how it has actually come out positive from the other side. I wonder how often that happens. Well, vaporwave is, hold on, so I'm looking at the Wikipedia now. Vaporwave is a term for a product, typically computer hardware, that is announced to the general public but is late or never actually manufactured, nor officially cancelled. I had no idea that's what vaporwave is actually called. I only know vaporwave as the aesthetic. I didn't know it was an actual term. But it's actually blown my mind. I guess the term had to originate from somewhere, and I never really questioned it. I don't know, I always thought it was vaporwave. Vaporwave, I don't know. Wave is just something which is sort of tacked on to the end of, like, aesthetics, I feel like, nowadays. But maybe that's probably because it's come from vaporwave. Like, isn't synthwave a thing? I had no idea. Vapor talk. Vapor, I guess, because it's not. It's all gaseous. But, you know, Eugenics, I mean, it seems like people, I mean, it's only been out for a day, so I guess I can't really say, but it's gotten pretty good reviews, all things considered. So, I guess it is genuinely something which went through development hell and came out, like, positive the other side, which I feel like is a very sort of rare thing nowadays. I don't even know it's a rare thing at all. Oh, the end is nigh. I completely forgot about that platformer game. I don't know, it just seems like Edmund Macmillan's just pretty good at making games, huh? Legend of Bumbo, I forgot about this. How well was this received? 70%? That's right. That's still pretty good, all things considered, eh? 4 stars, yeah. Got all these different games. Like, dang. Go off, Edmund. I was going to say, because I was getting so confused when I saw Eugenics was released, and I was like, whoa. I thought that game was canned, and it was like, cancelled ages ago or something, but no, apparently, like, it exists. Apparently it's also, like, pretty good. I don't really know. Well, it's not so much I don't know, it's just more so, that's it, eh? But yeah. I don't know what else I was going to say, to be honest. I'm still trying to think. Development hell and actually making it through to the other side. If anything, very inspiring, isn't it? Someone can be put on hold for so long and then eventually it works out. It just happens. You know, good on Eugenics. I say even, I don't know, maybe it comes out a few days later but it's absolutely awful, broken, or I don't know, some big controversy around it. I don't know why I would assume that. I'm not going to assume that. I'm going to assume it's positive, if anything, that, you know, it's just a great game, people have a fun time with it, and then people continuously play it. Would it be as a classic as a Binding of Isaac was? I don't know, like genre defining? I don't know. I guess not. When was the last time we got a genre defining gamers? I'm pretty sure I've asked this before though. Anyway, I hope you're having a nice time playing Eugenics if that's what you're talking about. If that's what you're talking about, or not, what am I saying? If that's what you're playing, you know. I myself will probably have a fun time playing D&D instead. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to round this episode off here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.